Hey all, Payne Marine here with another video. This is another attempt at coherent thought, and this one is going to dive into what I'm sure most of the community have already seen regarding these fan-made 40K videos, projects, and stuff that they're working on. Specifically, Sodaz and that whole situation, and another one that I wanted to bring up. But just in general, I kind of saw the writing on the wall with this, unfortunately, and in some cases, I can't. It's kind of it's a twofold thing. It's like one, it's like sure GW is going out right now and essentially, I guess purging, for lack of a better term, all the talent out there to basically control their IP. But at the same time, the fan reaction, and I'm not fully versed. I'm going to pull some stuff up here in a minute and go through a little bit. But I wasn't following the situation that happened with Sodaz from the beginning. So I'm not really sure what this community backlash that there was. But essentially, from what I gather, was that there's a ton of community backlash against him and his announcement that he was going to be going to work with Games Workshop. And they basically were calling him a sellout and all this other kind of stuff, which is super unfortunate. And I feel very, very hypocritical because again, you kind of have like the people that can hide in anonymity and make their comments and stuff like that. But also, like, if you have a skill that you're good at and somebody's going to approach you and give you a good deal and a steady paycheck, I don't know many people that wouldn't want that kind of security of a steady paycheck and getting to do whatever that skills that you're really good at and most likely probably really enjoy doing. But again, there are some issues though I still have with it, at least the way Games Workshop goes about it. So in general, I mentioned in the first video that I did, which was just an overview of this Warhammer Plus. Is it worth it? And in that video, and I still think like for the price and everything, it's very worth it. Of course, there was a lot of question in the beginning is, they're not coming to the greater world basically with this, with a deep library of content like Disney Plus. But then they released it and they're like, okay, well, we've got all these new projects we got coming out. You're going to get models for a yearly subscription. You'll get an exclusive model. You'll also have access. They're going to add in like all the other apps are going to all be rolled into one. So you have like your army building app. You'll have your rules. White Dwarf back issues are going to be added to it as well. So there's a ton of stuff they're adding to it. And it's like, okay, now this is kind of seeming more and more worth it, right? And then bringing in these other creators and artists was a smart idea. In the idea of bringing in more content so that they'll already have like a good library of things already made that fans have already done, and then we'll continue hopefully to work with them and stuff like that. So now the issue that I have and what I was worried about and what seems to be what is in fact happening is that they're kind of blackmailing these creators, as in they're going out and saying you can work for us or you can't do anything with our IP. Now, again, from what I've seen, it doesn't seem like they're going so far as to say like you're either with us or not. So like if you don't take this deal, you need to get rid of all of it. It's just all gone. Now that doesn't seem to be the case, and that's kind of brought up in this other situation. But I still think in the other situation where basically they're saying like you can't make money off of our IP basically. Like we don't care if you, well, they might care, but as of right now they don't seem to care if you make any videos or content, but you can't monetize it. You can't have a Patreon. You can't accept donations or anything for any of your work related to their IP. So it's kind of like, I guess it's kind of a nice thing that they're allowing people still to use their IP. It's just you can't try to make any profit from it, which I guess in all legal senses makes sense. But my worry now with that is the demotivating of creators. Like there will still be creators that are very passionate about a certain project 40K in general. But if it's very time consuming and stuff like that, you might see like a quick one-off or whatever, but you might not be able or you won't see, I don't think we'll see as many people now coming forward, creating stuff in the world of 40K, knowing that they're not going to make any form of money off of it, whatever modest amount it might be. So I think that's going to lower the motivation for new creators to come in and want to create. The other kind of issue, I guess you could say, that I potentially see is that you could end up having, I guess the only motivation potentially is being the new discovered talent, really. So we could still see people creating 40K content in the hopes that maybe this will be like their resume, that, you know, they'll get seen and get provided or get offered that same deal. Now, another thing that I think holds true is I do think the deals they are offering to people, like, we don't know the exact, you know, point by point details of these deals, and I'm sure they're confidential between the two people. I'm sure there's like an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement of some kind. There's probably signed in some fashion before they could start discussing potential collaborations and contracts and all that kind of stuff. But with that, I think there's a different varying degrees of deals. Like somebody like Sodaz and other creators that are like have a huge following, depending upon how many, you know, subscriptions they have and people like that. I think people with a huge following, and then I guess the quality of the animation, I think they're probably getting like better deals up front. And then people kind of lower on the totem pole. It seems so far they grabbed all the big ones. Like that seemed to be first thing. And now we're kind of seeing this kind of trickle down effect. They're getting the next tier, the next tier, the next tier, to the point where they're even going after people like that are still sizable YouTube channels, but not nearly as big as some of the others, but they're still going to them and making them these deals. Now, this one person in particular that we're going to take a look at here was offered a deal and turned it down. They didn't like the terms of the deal, and they have other things going on in their life. And as such, they were told that they need to demonetize and can't have a Patreon or anything for anything 40K related. So that kind of contradicts a lot of information that's been put out for other people. And Sodaz in general was, it seems to be there's some confusion that happened because initially he was going to take the deal, or he or she, I'm assuming he's male, I don't know, but they were going to take the deal. And then this community backlash, and then there was something going on at whoever reached out to them, whoever their community or whoever their person is that was reaching out to these creators, kind of ghosted them. Like they didn't get a response right away. So then he was worried because they had just taken down like all their videos and you know, just deleted them all and all that kind of stuff. So then, and they had announced, you know, I'm going to be in collaboration with them. As such, I have to delete my videos. Now, the only time so far that I've seen that you have to actually delete your videos and stuff like that is if you take the deal. If you're going to work with them, because the idea is you delete it all off your platform because it's going to be ported over into Warhammer Plus. So that's what they did. They removed all their 40K content and all that. And then the backlash thing happened with, you know, toxic community and people out there came at them. And basically he was like, I'm done, I'm pulling out, like doesn't want to do it anymore. And it's pretty unfortunate. It sounds like to some degree, like may not even be wanting to animate anymore. So I'm going to read, there's a statement here that Sodaz put out, and then we'll look at the other individual and stuff and kind of just wrap everything up here on my, you know, rambling here. But just a lot of unfortunate stuff going on within the community. There's a lot of this that happens, but I just think that this is a really weird time for the community in general with this Warhammer Plus. and all these creators out there. And with them pulling so many in, I just can't, like, right now, without even it being a subscription service right now, it's kind of like, what kind of capital are they putting forward? Granted, they've had record breaking years of profit these last few years, and they're really just turning around and really investing in, it seems, in this Warhammer Plus, because like I said, I don't know what the contracts are, how many years they are, or how much money they're giving. And like I said, for some of the smaller channels, I don't even think they're necessarily getting like an upfront contract. They might just be getting payout potentially to take their stuff. I don't know, it's interesting, but yeah. So let me. Okay. So first we'll take a look at Sodaz. So this is Sodaz's channel. You won't find any 40K stuff on there currently right now. It's all, he's got a lot of Titanfall stuff, Doom. I think there's some Star Wars, just all kinds of cool stuff. It's really good. And then this was posted, let's go over here. So this was from May 13th. I don't know if this was the original date. But so whoever posted this was saying, oh, this is awesome, another fantastic YouTube Warhammer 40K animation channel. Sodaz just gotten the Astartes treatment, same short message video, all videos private or privated, and content now under I don't know what WG is, under Warhammer, I don't know, I'm assuming this was the Games Workshop GW, not WG, on their on their shit site, with low quality, no exposure, add zero interactability with the fans that made it big. So, I mean, I think a lot of this right here is understandable, that they're like, great, they took their videos off again. But everything's being moved currently to like this kind of in between site until, I think maybe this is supposed to be W's, like Warhammer community. But under on that site, there's a lot of stuff popping around. So under that site, and then they're going to be over on the Warhammer Plus app. So maybe that's where you'll get more interactability, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. So anyway, I'm excited to announce the Games Workshop has been in touch to discuss my animation projects and opportunities to collaborate on official Warhammer animations. I really appreciate all the support the community has given me on these projects so far, and I look forward to what the future holds. I'll be removing all Warhammer related content from my channel from today, and any further announcements will be found at warhammercommunity.com. But I will continue YouTube to upload new content, videos. Thank you all again for joining me on this journey. So, he seems excited, happy. Now, I would say this, upon reading this comment, it does bother me though, because again, right here, the biggest thing is like the fans that made it big. No exposure, add zero interactability. So it's kind of like, they're coming to a defense. They're trying to like come to defense of the creator, but then at the same time, kind of saying like the only reason why they're big is because of the fans. Like, I don't know. It seems kind of weird. Like, I mean, that's why anything is popular, is because it creates a fan base. But when you're making something that's already got a fan base, it's a labor of love, essentially. Now, I'm not sure how Star Wars and like Star Trek handle fan-made products or projects. I know there's a lot out there for Star Wars, and generally, I'm pretty sure you just can't monetize them. I think that's been kind of the general rule of thumb there. And I guess maybe as Warhammer is getting more out there, they're trying to adopt some of the same practices. I'm pretty sure back a while, and I couldn't find it, but with Halo in particular, let me jump over here. But with Halo, there used to be like, Bungie had like a little disclaimer kind of thing that you would copy and paste if you made a fan project of some kind. It was basically like, this is just a fan project. This is not made for profit. We will not be profiting off of this, basically. So, I was trying to find that, but I'm pretty sure there's a message like that, and it'd be interesting if maybe they let I mean, I'm sure they'll still let creators use their IP as long as the videos and such or whatever are not monetized. And so I think going forward, we're going to see that's the norm. Like everybody's pretty much going to get a cease and desist, unless you just demonetize your stuff, then you can continue doing whatever. So, so this was 2 days ago. So I'm recording this on the 18th. So this is on the 16th. So now Sodaz is in South Korea or from South Korea, and it's posted a lot in these like South Korean forums and stuff. And so a lot has had been translated. So there's been a lot there too, because again, there's been a lot kind of, for pun intended, because it's almost literal, a lot lost in translation. And so responding, this was something that put out. I'm talking about the rumors that have been going around the internet about me lately, which I'm not too familiar, like what exactly those rumors are, other than maybe like starting to say the sellout or something. I'm not 100%. But after I wrote to the Korean community, I got a reply from GW a few days ago. They want to keep working with me. They said the reply was delayed due to circumstances. So now that right there, I'm not sure if that's just kind of like they're omitting whatever GW said it was, or if they're directly referring to the circumstances of like this outlash that seemed to come from the community, that they kind of delayed their response to try to get their ducks in a row, if you will, before continuing communication. But and he says, but I am not going to work with them, not because of the very slow feedback, but for other reasons. So they're saying they're not going to work with them, not because it took them a minute to get back with them, but for other reasons, which we can only pretty much infer is the community backlash. So those same fans that made him, or made the channel or whatever big, as that other post said, have now are the reason that they'll no longer see that content. So it's like fans either trying to come to their defense or call them out, or whatever you want to say, have now completely taken away creator of 40K content for us all. Yeah, so during that time, I was attacked by so many people and it was so painful. Even on other projects, they continue to harass. So even then, this is again like kind of the, I don't want to say cancel culture, because it's not necessarily, as far as I don't know, maybe they were trying to cancel him, but in a sense they canceled his 40K content and even went after his other projects. Again, it's like you just kind of wish people would leave well enough alone. Like if you're not, like, whatever, if you're not happy with it, voice your opinion and then carry on. Like, you don't keep going on and on and on, because you don't want other people to enjoy whatever it is. Even so, I was gradually losing interest in the animation itself, and I was almost at the limit. I don't want to worry about anything else anymore in a situation where this current work could be the last. Finally, please don't comment on Warhammer. So, I don't know. It sounds like, I mean, this individual's they're at their breaking point. And basically just, they don't want to talk about Warhammer anymore, like completely turn them off of Warhammer. Good job, everyone. That, I don't know what their goal there was, but super unfortunate. I don't know. This sucks. And this is where I kind of feel bad, because it's like, all right, there's a lot of people that are saying like it's GW's fault for doing this by basically approaching him, but it's like, really, is it though? Like, if anything, they were just trying to give them an opportunity. They didn't want it, then you can carry on doing whatever, but you just can't monetize your stuff. Or you can hit a steady paycheck, and like it sounds like it was a good enough deal for Sodaz to take, because initially it was going to take it. But all right, so moving to this next channel here. So I'm just going to turn the sound off real quick, but It says GW contacted me and asked if I'd like to work for him. I refused. Now my 40K videos are demonetized and Patreon is pulled. Production of animations will continue. So yeah, so that's the bottom line up front kind of thing. And his channel is absolutely nothing. Yeah, emailed, wanted to talk about his products. He jumped on the call, and in it, they offered me a chance to work with them. So this is, okay, cool. And then, but didn't like the terms and a full-time student, and they just don't have the time to commit, and the offer wasn't good enough. So then they had to demonetize all their animations and pull their Patreon. But this is funny. What does it mean? Not much. So in this case, he's like, it doesn't really mean anything for the viewer or the channel. Like the content will continue. I'll still keep making 40K content, just can't monetize it. It's spiral into depression. But okay, that's a key thing right here. Unfortunately. Some leads some inevitable downfall and spiral into depression. Now it sounds like that's exactly what happened with Sodaz, and that's horrible thing to happen. The only difference now is I'll be making 0 financial incentive. So this is kind of what I was talking about before is those that like to do this, like to animate, will continue, but those that particularly want to make 40K content may shy away. Yeah, so anyway, and then we'll just click over to here to his actual channel. So modest amount, almost 40,000. I'm only at like 500 something. So who am I to say, right? But he's got some good 40K content, actually a decent amount in there and stuff. So check them out for sure. Check out Sodaz as well, but check them out and support them. Don't just go over there to be like, oh, you're better than whoever because you didn't sell out, or you're a sellout and you got what you got coming to you. Like, I'm pretty just, I don't know, disappointed a lot in this community right now, this hobby. There's been just too much of this, just not just in the hobby, but just everywhere, where everybody's always got to be right in their own world, and they just can't accept anything else. Like no one can ever let anybody just be themselves on their own in whatever fashion that is. Yeah. So hobbies are people's escape, whether it's the gaming aspect, the painting aspect, the lore, making Warhammer videos, making Warhammer animations, making art, like this art behind me done by Earl the Artist on DeviantArt. I had him commission this for my homebrew chapter. And it's amazing and it's great. And if GW were to approach him and be like, your art is awesome, we would love for you to come and make art for us. Like that doesn't make that person a sellout. He has a great skill, does amazing work, just like many others that I've commissioned to have artwork done for my homebrew chapter. And if I'm pretty positive, whether if it was Games Workshop or some other aspect of their particular field of art, their what I'm trying to say, their venue, not the venue, but anyway, just like anyone else out there that has any kind of skill, you want the opportunity, and if you can get paid and it's good, steady pay, especially in the uncertainty of the world now, like you're gonna take it. And it's heartbreaking to see what they did to Sodaz, and they being the community at large. And everybody responds to things differently, and it's just unfortunate that it affected him so bad that now they pulled out of the deal. They're not going to be working with Games Workshop. So, yeah. Well, with all that being said, I do hope the best for Sodaz and anyone else out there that's creating 40K and either takes the deal. Hopefully it's a great deal and you have great success. If you don't take the deal, hopefully you continue in whatever the animation or whatever your art form is, and just continue creating. Because we need more people creating and building each other up than we do destroying it. There's just too much of that anywhere in the world now. You can get that plenty right now. And I think the creatives and the positive things are in very short demand, and we need more of that more than ever. So I'm sorry, I'm getting kind of like, I don't know, just kind of sentimental of I think we've all been through a lot of rough times over the past year and a half or so now, especially with the pandemic and everything else going on around the world. Yeah. All right. Well, with that being said, I'll leave the comments open for now. Just keep it civil. Let me know what you think. Yeah, and if you haven't already, I would definitely appreciate if you would hit the like and subscribe as well, as I create my rambling videos as my contribution to the community. And yeah, and if you haven't already, check out my Facebook and Instagram in the link in the description below. And until next time.